So, have you heard any more of the Bigfoot yell?
No, I haven't heard anything. I've been putting that little tape recorder in my window at night so I wouldn't have to go outside and freeze and make myself worse. But did you send those answers in to?
I did.
They get back with you?
Not yet.
Mm.
They haven't got back with me yet, but we'll check on that. There's another caller, and that is Muriel and Steve. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how are you, Dorothy?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
Hey, guys. I made it.
How are you feeling?
Rotten. What you get for staying outside trying to record Bigfoot. How are you feeling, Meryl? I know you've been sick and going to the doctor.
I'm doing better. I've had a good day today. I stayed home all day and didn't do any more than I just felt like doing, so it was a real good day.
Well, that's wonderful. That's good news. I like to hear good news every once in a while.
Absolutely.
We all need that.
Yes, we do.
You turn on the TV and it's gloom and doom. I quit watching it.
I don't watch television.
I'm talking about the news.
I don't watch television, period.
Hey, I'd like to say, Dorothy, I thought you did a fantastic job on that presentation for the camp out. I just thoroughly enjoyed. I listened to it going to work.
Oh, good.
And I wish I had been able to be there for that. That was so well done.
Yeah, well, we're glad that it went real well, but we sure did miss you. We planned on y'all being there.
Yeah, I figured you would miss me. I figured that much. But, hey, I have my beloved here who wasn't doing all that great at the time, and I just didn't need to get her too far away from her doctor.
Oh, yeah, I know. Looks like Mary Catherine's phone has gone off. I bet she'll call back in a minute, though. It's one of those things that happen sometimes. Mine cut out last time. I'm hoping it won't this time. Well, have y'all heard any reports down in that end of the state?
No, we haven't. It's been real quiet. Yeah, but hunting season is starting, so that could change. There could be some sightings from that.
That's quite possible.
Steve's going to try to go out next weekend and look around.
Make sure you wear your blades orange so they don't shoot you.
I didn't know Bigfoot was armed.
No, not the Bigfoot, the other culprits that are in the woods.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I look like an orange when I get out there.
Well, that's not as bad as me. I'd look like a pumpkin.
Oh, well, that was certainly interesting to hear Mary Catherine's audio recording get so much attention on the internet today.
Well, do you know we've had over 800 listens on YouTube?
Wow.
That's great.
What was it last time you checked it, Jim?
I believe it was 8 of 11.
Something knocked me off, Dorothy.
Yeah, I noticed you got knocked off. I didn't know what it was, but I said you'd call back.
Yeah, I did. Well, yeah, I noticed that there's been a lot of hits on it. Has anybody left any comments on it?
I haven't looked so far, but like I say, I've been fighting with computers, and I've got a loaner right now because mine's in the shop. But that makes me not be able to do what I need to do, you know.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
Well, I was so happy that I got that recording because my family was making fun of me. Thought I'd done gone crazy.
Oh, they can't make fun of you now. You can tell them you made the front page of Cryptozoology News.
Well, yeah, and not only that, you ought to saw the look on my sister's face. She looked like she had egg on her face.
Well,
Mary Catherine, that's not why they think you're crazy.
Oh, is that not it? Well,
there's too many other reasons besides that.
well, there's one thing about it. I ain't never lied about it.
Yeah.
I'm crazy for Jesus, Steve.
There you go. There you go. So are you recording this too? I know Dorothy.
I always record every session that we have because I'll go back. And some of the things I might cut out of it, but when we're having a lot of fun, I just leave it all in there because it's just fun.
Well, don't worry about cutting that out about my sister having an egg on her face.
Okay.
When she heard it, she said it sounded like it was saying, "It's cold." It's cold. But, you know, if y'all remember me telling y'all this, that my mother called me one time and asked me what was I doing. I said, I'm upstairs laying in bed watching TV. She said, you and Martin's not out there making those yells. I said, no, ma'am, why? She said, I just heard something out there. Says, and it gave me the creeps. And I said, well, hold on, let me go check. And the other day when I took the video over there, she says, that's exactly what I heard, but there was no coyotes in it. And she said, it scared me. She said, that sounded horrible and spooky. But
well, Muriel says you need to be recording Bigfoot every night.
Well, I've got my recorder in my window tonight, and I'm leaving it on. It's one of these little EVP recorders, and they really get upset when hunting season comes in.
Imagine.
And I don't know what hunting season is coming in, but it's pretty soon.
Well, bow hunting's already there, so you need to be extremely careful if you get out in the woods.
Well,
most places deer hunting opens this coming Friday.
Oh, it is? Oh, well, y'all be prepared, because about when it starts getting dusty dark, that's when they start screaming. They don't yell, they scream.
Well, Jim, didn't you tell me that we had a recent report today?
Yeah, I was checking my email right before I came over, and we had a report from up in Clay County this afternoon. Sure did.
Wow. What kind of report was it? Did they see them or hear them or what?
Saw one. Two people was coming down the road, and it ran across the road in front of them. And the guy said he slammed on the brakes to see if they could see it running down through the woods, but they didn't ever see anything. So I put a little thing on the website as usual. They disappeared into the dense forest.
Yeah. Mm.
But that was about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Did they say what color it was, Jim?
Dark brown was what they had in the email.
I
just wonder sometimes if they're like other animals, if they change color, whenever the seasons change.
I imagine they have a thicker coat for the winter time, which gives them a darker look.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think their hair color changes just like ours does.
Well, I want to know something. People talk about the albino Bigfoot. Do you think maybe they're old and gray?
I think that's possible.
Sometimes, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you can possibly have a solid white one sometimes. I mean, heck, other animals and people do too. So heck, you could have one.
Maybe they just have a lot of children.
Well, I told you I saw an albino turtle one day.
You did?
Actually, I've seen it about 3 times. Yeah.
I have seen that same turtle. Sure have.
Well, you ought to catch it.
It's down in the middle of the river at Horseshoe Bend.
I was going to say, you can take it to one of these aquatic aquariums. That'd be something very interesting because they're rare, I guess.
I'm sure they're very rare.
Well, I called these hunters up here, and I said, y'all better stay out of these woods.
Tell them you're going to sick your Bigfoot on them if they don't stay out of your woods.
Well, hey, I believe they would. They done told me that I was going to be safe in the woods.
They said you would be, not other people.
Yeah. But I think one of the reasons why they like me is because when I used to go hiking a lot, I'd go down the road, up and down the road, singing worship and praise songs.
That is probably what that. Mhm.
Sure could be.
Can you hold on for a second, okay?
Okay.
Wait. Let me get it on mute. If I can find mute.
Am I not supposed to talk?
No.
Not you. She's talking to Martin.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got Liam, my grandson, and I have got a plan to go back to the area where he had his sighting last fall, or spring rather. We're going to use one of these bags that you buy potatoes in, not the plastic bag, but the other type. And we're going to put in a rib cage from a feral hog that we killed back in the summer that we've been keeping. And we're going to raise it up, suspend it in a tree high enough to where the coyotes hopefully won't get to it. But we feel like that's probably some of its natural food, and see what happens.
Well, we have fed the Bigfoot during a drought.
You did what during the drought?
We fed it and put water out for it.
Where'd you feed it?
Sardines to begin with.
They like ballpark pranks.
They like eggs too.
Yeah.
And bacon.
And potatoes and apples.
And hot chocolate.
How does Bigfoot open a can of sardines?
We left it open.
I opened it for him.
Okay.
He put it on a post, where the odor would go down through the wood, and then we'd come back, and the sardines would be gone, but the can would be left. Did
you leave him some crackers too?
No.
Was it mustard? Was it mustard sardines or tomato sauce sardines or natural oils or what?
Just plain. Yeah.
Plain old sardine. I would have never thought.
When you hang them up, do you hang them up by fish wire or, string or something a coon won't be able to crawl down the rope?
Well,
I just put them on top of a post, and the can would be left when we came back the next day. Like fill it up again. It was what he was saying. I ate these, so they bring some more. That's what we did.
Now the eggs was what was really strange because they would take the eggs. It was a carton of eggs. Take the eggs and eat the egg out of it, but they'd put the shell back together and put it in the carton and left it setting up on the fence post. And that fence post, almost 6 feet high, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a turtle on the fence post.
Well, I'm too scared to do it around here at my house. And Dorothy, they follow me up and around here.
I don't think they'll hurt you. I really don't.
Well, what I'm saying, I don't want to do it close to my house.
I don't think I'd want to bring them close to your house.
But they do follow me because me and Dorothy went back there. They followed us out of the woods.
I think they followed us the whole way around. Might not have been the same one, but I think there was a Bigfoot in every location that we went to, and I think they communicated telepathically and through their knocks and things to let the other ones know which direction we were going in.
Yeah.
Now that was not during the camping trip, right?
No, I didn't get to go out on the camping trip.
We had some of that during the camping trip because after everybody left, Robin and her husband John, stayed a day extra, and they came over here that Sunday afternoon, and we walked back to the killing zone.
Yeah, the killing zone.
Yeah, and we walk down behind our house on this old road, and it goes across the creek. And you can hear them on both sides. And every time we'd walk, it'd walk. Every time we'd stop, it'd stop. We heard wood knocks. We heard rock tapping, and other things. They let us know that they were there. And I mean, you could tell it was something big moving through the woods, following us. But then we got on up the road closer to my house, and we started finding but bear scat. And I said, okay, it's time for us to go. I hadn't made friends with them, but they, you do know, Steve, that my camp got raided the night that we was over at Deer Lick. And
we will be putting on the audio and probably a video of that too.
And not only that, I want to kick myself time and time again because we had no intentions of doing any investigation over there at that park. And I left my camera and my video camera inside my truck locked up. And they came and raided the camp, and then after our power kept flipping off, I finally cut my nightlight out the second time, and they came back, and I heard them trying to get back into my ice chest. And then right before dawn, I heard some whoops and hollers all around us, on the other side of the slough, and up toward the gate, and one behind Dorothy's. You heard them too, didn't you?
I did hear it. Yes, I did.
But when I came out of that tent after getting mad at them, they done kept me awake for about 2 or 3 hours doing all that.
They kept you awake all night. And don't forget to mention the crow we heard at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. We were sitting there. This was after when I got out of that tent, and I heard it whoop, and real loud, and I heard some chatter. Well, I went to go get Dorothy and told Beth that I was having some activity. Dorothy and I came down there, and we finally got a fire going because the wind was so strong we couldn't build.
It was 20 to 30 mile an hour gust.
And it had died down, and they didn't start coming up until after the wind was died down. And she and I were making recordings and stuff like that, and we had just got through, and something threw a rock at us.
It threw a rock, yep.
And then we all of a sudden at 3:30 in the morning, we heard a crow start crowing, and it was going, oh, caw, 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 caw. And I turned around and looked at Dorothy, and I pointed that way, and I said, that's not normal. I said, that's not normal at all. And I have been told that they do mimic birds. So, but I don't see a crow, as cold as it was, not unless something, disturbed it.
Well, the Native Americans used animal calls to talk to each other. Why wouldn't Bigfoot?
Yeah, that's true.
Jim, what do you think about that?
I think she could get real close to them with just a little practice. Probably to where they would almost come up to you.
You think they'd come up to me?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? They were.
Take a little time.
They were, Brother Jim, because old Jay, somebody's laying there in that tent.
Well,
they rubbed on the outside of the tent, did they not?
They were right there beside it, and I heard them breathing real loud, and then I heard a low growl.
They with you for some reason.
They hang with me? I don't know why in the world they would.
They feel safe, like they did with us when we used to go so much. They got to where they would come up close to us.
Really?
So close that we thought one was a bush one night, and then we got to looking again, and the bush got up and took off.
But Dorothy made me apologize to them.
I did, for yelling at them. She yelled at them, get out of here. We don't want you to get out of here. We want to know.
Well,
sometimes you do, though, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jim, how many do you think you have around where you live?
Gosh, I don't really know. We had a bunch of them here at one time, but now they have cut a lot of logs out, and that's kind of thinned them down some. But there was a bunch of them here. I'm gonna say back around 2007 was when we were going so much. That was the year that we had drought and everything.
Oh yeah. Well, when you were feeding them, even when you're feeding them the sardines, what do you feed them once a day? And then for about how many days in a row, or do you just keep on?
Oh gosh, we did what, 2 months?
Probably 2 months, and I had a row over there for a while. Whenever it was so hot and dry, and we would carry the water and sit it out, and I'd open the sardines, sit them out, and then the next day, then we'd carry another jug of water. We'll take another can, and then I got to talking to them over there, and then that's when they got to leaving us things, feathers and rocks and
bones.
Heck, I've got a bone that I wouldn't take anything for. Heck, you can tell where one took his teeth, and he went all the way around the edge of it, like he kind of decorated it like.
Wow.
Jim, do you put out more than one can of sardines?
No, heck, we just put out one can at a time.
Well, they might fight over that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hadn't thought of that, but at the time, see, we really didn't know what we were doing. Really, we just thought we were feeding Bigfoot over there, or feeding something. Then it turned out to be Bigfoot. What we believe.
But we know he's intelligent because when we asked him to leave the jug, he would bring the jug back and leave the empty jug right where we left the water.
Yeah, I had several gallon jugs, and I'd carry one over, or we would, or I would, just whoever was over there that day. And we would leave it, and then when we go back the next day, we had to carry another one. So I was over there one day, and I decided, well, maybe they can understand what I'm saying. So I just turned toward the woods where I knew they would be. And I said, I'm almost out of jugs. If you want me to keep bringing you water, you're going to have to leave my jug. And by gosh, after that, every day the jug was left there empty when we would bring another one. So that lets you know that they can either read your mind or they can understand what we're saying, one.
Well, Jim and Dorothy, I want y'all to come up here in March, or right after the hunting season, come out and let's me and you us three do some more investigation around here if you can.
Well, we're going to try to, and
we will sure try. My eyesight's getting a little better, so I'm hoping that it's going to be to where I can get out and get around. But see, I ain't even to where now. Heck, I can even get out at night, and I miss that, not being able to get out with them. But yeah.
Well, Steve, you and Muriel's invited too.
Well, thank you.
We'll try to find a place to put y'all up. If anything, I'll put y'all out there and put y'all out somewhere where you be warm.
We only need one bed. Muriel's used to sleeping on the ground, but I need the comforts of, I don't need a pea under the mattress, and I'm a very delicate flower, so I do need to have a comfortable place to sleep at night.
Well, if y'all gonna be in and out out of the house during the night, we locked ourselves in, but we do have extra bedrooms, and we also got a air-conditioned and heated two-bay garage, too.
Oh, I'll be right at home in now.
And put some cots in there. And,
we have a video on YouTube that's called "Getting Close to Bigfoot" that describes his all the encounters and stuff that we had when we were putting out the water for the Bigfoot.
Oh, so good. What's it called again?
Getting Close to Bigfoot, and it's
Shadow Grove.
Shadow Grove.
Yeah.
Okay. I will tune that up and take a look at that.
Okay.
Well, we're trying to get together a retreat down here somewhere around Clay County and Randolph County as soon as we can
That Mount Cheehaw?
The Mount Cheehaw. We're trying to get some acreage that we can go on to without problems.
Are y'all going to use me as bait this time?
We might do that. You make sure you go out and holler before you leave home. Now I'm headed down to Cheehaw. You come on down there and see me now.
Hey, they use as bait. Meryl said, well, I knew if they were going to come to see anybody, they were going to come to see you, Mary Catherine. What is my bait?
Well, yeah, I'm all about using humans as bait. I use my granddaughter a lot of times when I'm night hunting.
No, he does not.
I've nicknamed her Bates.
I think they like Ralph Lauren romance perfume.
I think that's kind of what
I'll have to go buy you some.
With that bait over there whenever we were going so much.
Yeah, they got used to us. They really did.
Well,
have you ever left a photograph of yourself for them?
No.
No, hadn't even thought about that. But we can do that.
That is a good idea. Thank you, Steve.
That's kind of what I'm thinking about doing with my grandson when we put out that rib cage.
Mhm.
I think that if there was some kind of familiarity that they could identify us and do something in some kind of symbolism, hopefully, to let them know that we're friend and not foe.
Right, and you like we did with the water and everything. Turn around and say, "Look, I'm leaving this for you. I'm leaving it so nothing else can get it. It's just for you. Can you leave me something in return?"
Hey, and I would write on the photo and say, "We mean you no harm."
Mhm.
You think they can read?
Possible.
I don't know.
Possible.
But I would try it.
But you think about it, most of the people who are having more contacts with them are really spiritual people.
Yeah, I know.
And I think Bigfoot is very, very spiritual.
I think that's when we began to have our good luck was whenever we started doing rituals, Native American rituals over there. I think that's what pulled them in now.
Well, me being a minister all these years, I started my ministry when I was 5 years old singing with no kiddie songs. And I'd go through the woods singing, and when I got older, I walked through up and down the road singing praise and worship. And and one night I was outside and I was singing Amazing Grace, and I started hearing them chatter. And matter of fact, last night I went outside and sung Amazing Grace, but I didn't get no response. But Muriel, the night that I made that video and showed it to you, I was singing, "He's in the midst of us. He's in the midst." I always sing to him.
Well, why don't you try this?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go out and sing to them, tell them, "Look, I'm going to leave a recorder here. I'm going to record me singing to you, and I want you to speak back to me and leave it on the recorder. I'll go in the house so that I don't scare you away, but leave me a message." And see if they'll communicate with you that way.
Yeah, well,
it's worth a try.
Well, they did. You there?
Yeah, we're here. Hello.
We're here.
Well, I think I had sung Amazing Grace the night before that they came up in the yard. They were in my yard. They were in my garden, and that's when the dogs got to howling and screaming, and by the time I got my phone to record it, they had to move back down toward my grandmother's old house, back behind the killing zone.
Yeah.
And Lord have mercy. They had everything upset, dogs and everything.
You reckon you could teach them how to use a hoe when they get in the garden? They could at least hoe a little bit.
Well, we had See, our garden space is 100 by 100. That's what, how many thousand feet? And I had a huge garden year before last. And that was the first year that I came out of my house not frightened to death. I had to face my fears. And while I was out there in my garden, I heard wood knocks very close to me. And I would hear them at night. I'd be on the porch. I'd hear them knocking and everything. My garden was so big, I never did notice anything missing out of it. But this past summer, I didn't raise one. And one afternoon, I heard a big commotion, something running, and I went around. I had a bunch of pears on the ground that had fallen, and I went around there, and that yard was picked clean. And if it had been a deer, they would, you know how deer eat. They eat on it, and then they leave little remnants, and they wouldn't. So I know it was them getting my pears.
It had to be more than one, too, because they came through and did a clean sweep.
Yeah, and I put up so much stuff last year. I told my husband, I started putting up stuff in the freezer in March. We planted English peas, and you put them in January. But I never did miss nothing. But it was so big. If they had got something, I wouldn't have missed it.
Well, where Cameron saw the one across the road, it was right close to a farm, where a guy who raises produce for the farmers market.
Chickens.
That he had green beans and corn and peas and okra and stuff planted there. And I'm just wondering if he just got in there and ate what he could hold and was on the way home.
I wonder, talking about food and everything, I wonder what would happen if he carried a plate out on Thanksgiving and he just left it there with a recorder or something around. And he told them what you were doing, that we celebrate Thanksgiving, the harvest and everything, and you brought them a plate. I wonder what would happen.
I'll do that. Let's all try that.
That sounds like a good plan.
What I'll do is I'll set up a table, put my dogs in the garage, and put a cooler in there with his plate in it.
And put it out there. Put it out there where you saw it.
Huh? In
your yard where you saw it that time. You remember where we saw it?
Yeah, by the chicken house. Oh. No, you're talking about down there on the field. That's where Beth found the footprints.
Well, see, that would be a good place to leave it.
Well, I could set up a table and put a small cooler down there and see what happens. And that way we will know if a coon gets it or not. But he might take the cooler.
Might do.
Yeah. I think their curiosity was really in effect when he was looking at that stove.
What?
That camp stove.
Yeah, and he tried to get the Coleman camp stove box, and a coon don't do that.
No, had no reason to.
And another thing, a coon will tear open a garbage bag, and there was plenty of leftover food in that garbage bag. And I had about 14 packs of that hot chocolate. And a coon cannot pick up 14 bags of hot chocolate because I counted them before I left here. And as you saw, but there was about 6 on the deck, and there was about 6 or 7 down on the ground. Yeah. Yeah, and Steve and Muriel, when Dorothy and Brenda, my friend, was looking over the deck. They heard something up under that deck, and it was Did it sound loud, Dorothy?
It sounded like it was trying to be really quiet. That's what it sounded like.
How did y'all hear it?
It was like rustling, like it moved in the leaves.
Uh-huh. And then all of a sudden it just took off, and there was one package of hot chocolate that was not chewed open but tore open, and when it ran out, it grabbed that open pack, and it got spilled, and it moved, and it was moved. So,
yeah, and another reason you know it was not a raccoon is a raccoon could not break a 5-inch in diameter tree.
No. Mm-mm. Yeah, it broke that. That's what really got Bob realized. He thought I was joking about it, and everything. But that was his first encounter.
Close to encounter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, all he had to do was get up, and he could have had a better encounter with him.
Yeah. Well, I tried to wake him up. I told him, I said, Bob, you ain't worth flip. I told him that several times.
Well, I have to admit it was a little chilly to be out there.
Yeah. Well, Dorothy, you smelled it yourself.
I did before anything even happened. I smelled it and I thought, well, that could be anywhere. As strong as that wind has been blowing, it could be anywhere.
Mhm.
And then I heard yelling, and I thought it was you.
Mm-mm.
And then you started yelling, "Get out of here!" And I said, "Well, that could have been Mary Catherine, because she's still in the tent."
Yeah. I just wished I'd had my camera, my video camera with me.
Well, I'll be quite honest with you. If you had it, he probably wouldn't have got as close as it did, because it does not like cameras. And I wonder if they're like the Native Americans and think that it takes part of your soul when you're captured on camera.
Maybe. Jim, have you and Dorothy went out anymore?
We hadn't been in a while. I had the eye surgery and all that, and we just had to put everything on hold. And right now, heck, I can't see after dark hardly. But they tell me that that's supposed to get better. And even the doctor that did the surgery said something about, well, you're not going to be able to get out and hunt Bigfoot, are you? And I said, no, not till I get better. But they seem to be doing a little better.
Well, good Lord can heal your eyes.
Yeah, that's like something that you just take for granted till something happens to them. And
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but you don't need to take anything for granted. Not even your friends who talk to you.
Or about you.
Or about
you.
Merle just said something. What'd you say, hon? Ariel?
Huh?
What?
I heard you in the background. You said something.
I said, no, we don't need to take anything for granted.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true.
Give thanks for every single moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I wonder.
Right now. We've got Jim on our TV right now.
Jim on your TV? What channel?
Oh, you've got the videos pulled up, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm the second one to view it.
Which one is that?
The one you told me about.
Okay, the
Shadow Grove.
Shadow Grove?
Well, no, it's just Jim looks like he's reading. He's got his white cowboy hat on, and
well,
that's another one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the one
he's told me. Close Encounter.
Yeah, that's where he talks about stuff like that, and
Right.
there'll be some videos on there.
Good.
I've done like 20 or 30 of them in the last month.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we got some more planned.
So it's under Alabama Bigfoot Society.
Right, and yeah, it's a YouTube channel, Alabama Bigfoot Society.
Okay. I'll sign on to it.
Okay, appreciate it.
I watched the cemetery. You did one at a cemetery, a couple at a cemetery recently, and I watched those and really enjoyed them.
Okay, well, thank you.
About the witch.
The statue that turned its head.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we've got some more of them that we're going to do. There's a place down here where they used to do the slave trades when the train would bring the slaves in. And the building's been torn down, but we have heard that it is haunted, and you can hear the auctioneer auctioning off, and you can hear the slaves crying and singing and stuff. So we're going to do that, and we've got a slave quarter and a slave cemetery to go to, too.
Well, y'all just don't go to the Myrtles.
Y'all say a lot of prayers for them.
Yeah, we like to investigate things like that. I think it's a spiritual thing.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
But it's going to have to get a little bit warmer than it is down here today before I go sit out. There's a meteor shower tonight, and I would love to sit out and watch it, but it is so cold. Reminds us, it's deja vu of Deer Lick.
Tell me about it.
Is it windy up there, too?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's not as windy up here.
Well, you got to think, we're just right at the base of the mountain. Our elevation is a little bit higher than Tuscaloosa's.
Oh, yeah.
So it gets colder here.
Well, that wind that night.
But there has been nights that we have been out in it like this and listening and watching.
Which mountain are y'all near?
Cheehaw.
Now, Cheehaw Mountain. We're pretty close to it.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the nearest foothill of it is where we went to. Blackjack Mountain is where we've gone a lot to search for Bigfoot.
Yeah. Come in pretty close contact with them up there.
Oh, yes.
I'd like to make an announcement real quick for everybody listening. Congratulations to Robin Roberts, who won tonight's trivia contest.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
What was the answer?
Huh?
What was the answer?
I can't pronounce the name of the county.
Okeechobee. Okeechobee County in Mississippi.
Really?
It had to be Mississippi.
I mean, good gosh, after a while, there's just not any more clues you can give without telling people.
Well, Myrtle caught on to me. I was just throwing them out there.
She's bad about that. She's had 39 years of experience of somebody trying to pull the wool over her eyes.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't even tried to be in any of the contests because I've been so busy, but I might try the next one.
Well, now, I wouldn't try to throw the wool over her eyes. I was just letting her know I was paying attention. I was. But anyway, it just it's funny.
But now it's Robin's responsibility to provide the next trivia question Tuesday night.
Okay, that's how you get the trivia question. Somebody has to provide it.
Well, it is now.
Oh, okay.
Her well ran dry, and she had to ask me to get one for her, and that I came up with that one. So
I should give you my brother's telephone number. He is a trivia whiz. He knows things that I wouldn't even think of knowing.
Well, speaking of brothers, is Dale your brother, Mary Catherine?
No.
Okay.
He was
Is he related to you?
No, he was one of the first people that came in our group.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Is he bad?
No, not at all. I just seem to remember you putting him and Dwight together a lot. I was wondering if they were brothers or something like that. And Dwight Parker, your son?
Yeah. What it is, okay. Dwight's living in Houston, Texas now, and Dale lives in Sweeney, Texas. And there was something going on out there, and I was trying to give him a heads up on it.
Okay, well, I was just wondering.
No, Dale, he's not my brother. He's just a friend.
He is your Bigfoot brother.
Yeah. He's just a good friend and everything. But I got to say this. You see, what was it, Monday morning?
Uh-huh.
I think we got 30 new members that day.
Well, you can look for your emails and everything to shoot off the roof, because at the end of that video that I put on YouTube that's had over 800 views, I told them to contact us through email at Alabama Bigfoot, or to leave a message at Bigfooting in Alabama.
Have you had any comments from it?
I haven't looked yet.
Mm.
I've been so busy trying to get a computer up and operating so we could do this call tonight.
Mm.
I don't have very much luck with computers. I'm going to try to go ahead and go back to a Mac, because a Mac you can't get viruses on.
Yeah.
Or you used to couldn't get viruses on. They might have improved them so you can now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an improvement?
I think somebody kind of wants the website off, like every once in a while, whenever we put something on there that somebody don't like.
Yeah.
Like, or somebody's come in contact with them that they don't want you to know about.
Oh, well, I got some good news.
Really?
Yeah, Dwight is officially out of the Army now, and he's going to be moving back here at the first of the year. So I am going to be out more and doing more investigation, because Dwight is a true believer. And
will he go with you?
Yes, he will. Yes, ma'am, he will.
Well, that's
That's
good.
great.
Yeah.
Because you don't really need to go out by yourself.
Well, I know Martin ain't going to go with me. That's for sure. Don't get me wrong about Martin. Martin's a good man and everything, and he's just not into Bigfoot. I mean,
he has something that's more important to him to be doing with his time.
I mean, he is the president of the church up there, and he has to do a lot for the church, and he supports me and my, I call this my hobby. He has heard him. He's seen what I've seen. He's heard what I've heard, but he said, he doesn't want me to think him rude, but he's just got many other things to do. A lot of people, that, and I also want you to know, when we went for that camp out, Martin got out and he cut up a bunch of wood in case somebody didn't have any. And Robin and John didn't have any, and I also know that Bob and Diane didn't have any, and somebody else. But he wanted to make sure, and we left the wood there for him. I mean, he supports me 100%, but he just doesn't have time to do the things that I do, and everything. So and plus we had been having a rash of break-ins up around our house. And
well, that's going to start this time, because it's almost Christmas time.
Well, my daughter was laying on the couch asleep right after she had Jacob, and there was three guys backed up to her house, and the paper woman confronted them, and they got out of their truck and tried to attack the mail woman.
Mm.
And they've done tried to break in her house twice that I know of. So, living so far up in the country, it takes an hour for the law to get here.
And see, they know that you're isolated. There's not a lot of neighbors around. They can drive by and make sure nobody's around on either side of you, then come back and just...
Well, we had that road permanently closed. Mm-hmm. I mean, it cost us good money. We've got gates up now, and so, I mean, we had to go to court about it, but we withdrew their easement on there. So, and even the garbage men came and knocked on my daughter's door one time, telling them, there was somebody parked in the field and they were out of state license. But I've only had one time somebody tried to mess around in my house, and that was when Martin was in the hospital. And I think what happened was when they saw his Social Security number, they do a check on you before you go in the hospital, and they thought that
you thought it was somebody in the that works at the hospital.
And administer, remitting, and and they thought I was going to stay with him all night out at the hospital. And about 3:30, somebody tried to come in on me, and thank God there was a deputy sheriff 5 minutes away.
No shit.
I will tell you something about doctors. I don't know that much about hospitals, but doctors, anybody, even the cleaning crew can pull a file and look through it.
Well, we don't leave our house without having a house sitter.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. But we almost been talking for about an hour.
Oh, yeah. We've been on here almost an hour. So our next projects are going to be planned to try to come up there in March, and maybe sometime the last of April, 1st of May, try to plan something for down here.
Steve, you and Muriel, y'all come up too.
That sounds good to us.
Well, that camping over there, that was a good spot. I really, really want to try to get in there and see. Since the camp is closed, I will contact I told you one of the guides, the guards that was at the shack, at the guard shack. I knew him. I used to live next door to him, and I will call them and see if they're still going in there and staying while it's closed, and see if we can come and see them while it's closed.
Well, I want lot 15. And I want Dorothy to be my tent buddy that day.
Yeah.
You got it. We can make that happen.
Well, bless Brenda's heart. She's done seen Sasquatch up here twice. Once in the swamp and once crossing the road. And she heard it too last when we were over there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it won't be so cold and windy. We can build a fire.
Well, that's something else that I wondered about. Every time we try to do something about Bigfoot, we have bad weather. The first time I came up there, it rained. And this time it was supposed to be nice weather, then all of a sudden it's cold and windy.
Well, they came up a big thunderstorm here. Right before it came over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have my camera, my video camera in the tent with me next time. If we do this, Dorothy, are we gonna get a whole bunch of people go with us?
What we're gonna have to send out private invitations.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because you know what happened to me last time.
Yeah, I do.
I won't mention it, but what I was going to say is that I think the smaller the number, the more chance we are going to have having activity.
That's the reason. That's the reason when Jim and I go out, we usually don't take more than 3 or 4 people at the most at one time. So if Jim and I come up there and you're there and Martin's there, and then Muriel and Steve come, that should be all we need for one group.
Yeah, and I hope y'all can.
And of course, now we could invite Robin back to go with us.
She said she couldn't come back because she's wanting to go to Washington during that time.
Yeah.
But no, I'm game. I'll camp out over there, but we can still come over here and look around.
Well, that's what we would need to do is come over there and look and because the park stays open, the gate stays open till 10 o'clock. We have plenty of time to scout out the area there. And if push comes to shove, we can camp out in the yard there.
Yeah. Or if me too, y'all can stay in the garage or something. Or
we would be close. We would be closer to it if we stayed there at your house in the garage and around the garage.
Yeah. Well. If y'all go out in and out during the night, it might be best that y'all stay in the garage. Now there's air conditioning and heating in there.
Yeah.
as far as that goes.
Is there a bathroom in there?
I can put a potty chair in there.
Well, you'd probably have to, because I'm one of those people who has to get up and go. I made like three trips a night to the little girls' room down there when we were at Deer Lick. That was cold. That was cold.
Hey, let me tell you something. Me and Brenda, at certain times, there was 3 moons out there in Deer Lick. I was about to walk down there. See, I couldn't get my truck moved.
Yeah.
My truck was blocked, and I wasn't going to walk down there. So I just dropped them and went.
I didn't walk down there the first couple of times, but the ignition switch in our car froze that morning.
And that's another thing, Dorothy. Here's what I say. It was so weird over there. Because, number one, what all happened? My truck batteries died. I got 2 batteries in my truck. They died. And not only that, the power kept flipping. When it flipped the last time, I cut my night light out and switched it back on, the night light I had outside. And that's when they came back up into my campsite.
When the light was off.
And they could easily flip them breakers.
Oh yeah.
I ain't sleeping nowhere that's cold at night.
Well,
we were in tents, and it was cold, and we had the electric heater in our tent.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a fair weather camper. I want y'all to know that right now. I'm a fair weather camper.
I think Jim agrees with that.
Well, I told you I had a heat and cooling in my garage, and they're big size. There's 2 of them. There's doors closed in, but there's doors in between them too, so you have your own privacy.
Yeah, we'd probably have to set one of them private rooms up as a potty house. Not a party house, but a potty house.
No. I have a storm room in it, that we can use that for the bathroom.
Okay.
Well, look, folks, this has been a lot of fun. We've enjoyed it, but I'm not like Mary Catherine. I got to get up and go to work in the morning instead of sitting around in my nightgown eating bonbons and watching soap operas. So I need to go.
Do that. See?
when we get off of here, I've got to go and edit some videos and get some more videos on. I'll probably get to bed about 3 o'clock and then get back up at 6 in the morning. That's the way my life goes.
All right. Well, we're going to let y'all go. Enjoy speaking with you again.
All right.
Y'all have a great Thanksgiving.
You too.
We enjoyed it too.
I'll get this on as soon as possible.
Bye, Brother Jim.
Bye-bye.